Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and we're welcoming back a great friend of the channel, Scott Strossal, who contributed one of our very first ever Patreon rewards from memory, and has been with a follower of the channel for a long time. Has sent us a puzzle that combines, well, numbered rooms, not one of my favorite rule sets in terms of my being able to solve it. If you saw a recent video that we did on numbered rooms, you will remember that. And clones, and they turn out to be very difficult as well. So this is something I approach with some trepidation today, but I will go through the rules of this puzzle in a moment. Now, the current patron reward, well, I mean, November's has been Duality 2 by the Skunk Works. We put up a new patron reward on the 1st of the month. It's competition until the 20th. And Patreon contains all sorts of extra things, my crossword solves, connections videos. Do check it out. There's some content there that will entertain you, definitely. Those Sudoku puzzles in the Patreon rewards are brilliant. There's also, of course, SVEN'S SUDOKU PAD on the links under our video, and our merchandise, like this rather snazzy knowledge bomb water bottle. Let's hope we drop some knowledge bombs today. And of course, there's all of our apps which feature Fog of War Sudoku now. Do check the links under the video. Get the main apps in Android or App Store and find the extra content like Fog of War. It is just fabulous, and we recommend it highly, and all the other apps too. Now, let's have a look at the rules of Scott Strossals. It's called They Check In, but They Don't Check Out, which obviously instantly reminds me of the lyrics to the Eagles Hotel California, where you can check out anytime you want, but you can never leave. And obviously this is to do with rooms being numbered. It's a very hotel-y sounding thing. Now, let me explain what these rules are. Normal Sudoku rules apply. 1 to 9 will go in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. God forbid we would get any given digits. We don't. Now, clones. There are similarly coloured blocks that must contain the same digits in the same position. So for these blue regions, that digit is the same as that one is the same as that, and so on and so forth. In a killer cage, digits mustn't repeat, and they sum to the number given. So these 3 add up to 16, and they're all different. And then the numbered rooms clues mean that a clue outside the grid indicates the digit, which has to be placed in the nth cell in the corresponding direction, where n is the digit placed in the first cell in that direction. So if this was a 3, that's saying that the 5 is in the 3rd cell looking down from this direction, so that would be a 5. That's how a numbered rooms clue works. Now, I've just induced some hiccups. That's brilliant timing, but I have switched off my email notifications. I am going to restart the puzzle, see how I do. You can have a go on the first link under the video. You can judge from the video length how hard it is, unless I've made a mistake and had to unwind a huge swathe. Okay, I am going to start with a knowledge bomb. The secret. Every row, column and box in a Sudoku, and I only tell this to my favourite people, adds up to the same number. We know that number, it's 45. So this central box adds up to 45. If we deduct the 2 14 cages, which add up to 28, these other 3 cells add up to 17. That is not a very useful number. So we will bear that in mind for the future. Okay, we're going to have to somehow use... None of these killer cages are very demonstrative. I mean, there are about 4 ways of making up an 11 cage. No, actually there may be 5 or 6. I don't know, 5 I reckon. 3 with a 1 and 2 with a 2. They're not very useful. I'm going to have to somehow use the numbered rooms and the clones. Okay, what can we put here? There are things you can't put in a numbered rooms clue. If the numbered rooms clue isn't a 1, then the digit in the n cell, the first cell it sees, cannot be a 1. because that's, if it was a 1, it would be describing what digit goes in room 1, which is this room, and therefore the numbered room clue would have to be a 1. So this isn't a 1. It's also not a 4, because then the 4 would be in room number 1, not in room number 4. But that leaves a lot of things that it can be. Oh, okay, it can't be a 3 here, because that would put a 4 here, and that would need a 3 here as well for this 4 clue. So that's not a 3. So we're narrowing it down. Now, if it was a 2, that puts a 4 here. Now that number then just has to not be 1, 2, 3, or 4. What does that do in the puzzle? Actually, 2 and 4 there. Well, it puts a 4 here by the clone rule. And that makes this a 2. Is that a problem? Gosh, it's nearly a problem for 2 in blue. That's really weird. So look, if that's a 2, that's a 4. Then that's a 4 by the clone rule, and that's a 2 by the numbered rooms rule. Then 2 ends up in one of these cells in box 3. And therefore, on the clone, it's got to be in one of these cells in box 7. But it's not allowed to be there, or there, because of the 2s we've postulated in the grid. So we would get 2s in these positions. I'm just trying to work out if there's a problem with that, and I can't see what it is. In fact, it would be specifically those positions that would be 2s. It would keep 2, I don't know. Oh, there is something about the composition of boxes 1, 3, 7 and 9. Actually, if that was a 2 and a 4 here, this 11 cage, it's lost a lot of the ways it can be made up. It can't be 2, 3, 6, it can't be 2, 4, 5. It can't be 1, 2, 8. It can't be 1, 4, 6. It would have to be 1, 3, 7. Now, that's interesting down here. 1, 3, 7 could not now be in the yellow cells. So if that's a 2 and that's a 4, which is the corollary of that being a 2 and that being a 4, 1, 3, 7 can't all sit in the 15 cage because they don't add up to 15. So this would have to be one of 1, 3, 7. It couldn't actually be 7 because that would put 1 and 3 in the 15 cage, which doesn't work. It would have to be 1 or 3, and they don't work here. Oh my goodness, that is madness. And it stops this being a 2. And I think I'm meant to be excited by that I've reduced this, this digit to one of 5 possibles, not including 2. Yes, it means 4 isn't in those cells. And I mean, I suspect, I don't know for sure, I'm going to actually have to work it out. I suspect the same logic is going to apply to all of these, but I don't know. Let me just try and figure that one out. This is so strange. Hang on. Somebody's assaulting my front door with some post now. If that can't be a 1 by normal numbered rooms rules, and it can't be a 4. It can't be a 3 because that would have to be a 3. If that was a 2, are we in the same position? 2 and 4 there, 1, 3, 7 in the 11 cage. That 4 comes here. Yes, this is exactly the same. 4 and 2 there. That would have to be one of 1, 3 or 7. But you can't leave 1 and 3 in this cage on their own, so that would be 1 or 3, and that doesn't work. Wow, okay, so that's not a 2 either. That is also 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. Now, I've just thought of another little wrinkle. If you add the 11 cage, the yellow area, and those 2 cells, you get 45. So there's a relationship, let's call them orange, and these ones green. There's a relationship between the total of orange and green, and it's a difference of 4. Because yellow is obviously cancelling out against yellow there. 15 is 4 bigger than 11. So green is 4 smaller than the total of orange there. Now, That gets quite interesting if I can say the same down here, but I'm not sure I can. Oh no, I can. I've ruled out 4 being there, and here, and here. Okay, and I can rule out 4 being there because in this yellow clone, that's there. So 4 is now in the 11 cage. It's either 425 or 126. I think 4 can't be in these cells, that's right, and we know 4 isn't in yellow, so 4's in the 15 cage down here. Now, this is getting interesting. The 2 digits that make up the 11 sum, which are either 25 or 16, add up to, well, the digits not in yellow. Oh, what? My head's exploding again now. Something good is happening here with 4s. I'm just the man to figure out what that is. Okay, 9 is also an interesting digit in these cells because that puts a 4 here, and then that uses this numbered room clue to put a 3 there. And 9 here puts a 4 here, which puts a 5 there. No, it doesn't. It puts a 5 there. Oh, I don't know. That's all right. I don't see a problem with that. I don't think boxes 3 and 7 are quite as useful because the digits, the numbered rooms digits, are different, although obviously there are overlaps. But okay, I'm going to go back to looking at boxes 1 and 9 instead. Trying to work out what's going on. I haven't got it yet. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take out those colours. I'm going to colour every cell in the grid that can't be a 4. So let's start with those and those. They can't be 4s. Now, this is 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9. That can't be a 4. And the same is true for the digits that are 4 away from N. Oh, I thought this was going to tell me something. I don't think it is at all. No, that's not it. Okay, let's go back to this point. So we've got 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9. Well, okay, can 4 be here? Is there a problem in the clone? Let's start with here, actually. That would be an 8 if that was a 4. And 4 would be here on the clone, so that would have to be an 8 as well. Oh, well, that's interesting. That doesn't work the same for 7, because that puts 4 in those 2 positions. That's quite strange. 8 is ruled out, but 7 isn't. Oh, maybe 7 is ruled out because that puts 4 here, which puts 7 here. So 7 there puts 7 here. Oh, then 7 turns up in blue, and then 7 has to be there. Oh, this is weird. I don't know. I'm not sure I can rule out 7. Can I go back to this thing about orange is 4 bigger than green? Yeah, surely these greens, these aren't allowed to be 1, 2, 3 or 4 either. They are 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9. Now some digit there is not going to work. Is it 8 again? That would put 4 here and 4 here. Oh no, that would be if they were both 8s. That's not going to happen. 8 there puts 4 there. Oh no, it is exactly the same. Yes, that is exactly why it does work, that we can take 8 out. Right, now, the total of orange is 4 more than the total of green. The maximum total of orange is 16, and the minimum total of green is 11. So green either adds up to 11 or 12, and orange to 15 or 16. Okay, now 4 is getting limited. 4's in one of those cells. Oh, no, this is much better. Something's going to end up in these 11 and 15 cages. Right. So one of the possibilities is that those two add up to 15 and these two to 11. In that case, this is a 6-9 pair. And that's 2, 4, 5. That's 1, 3, 8, 7. If that's 1, 3, 8, 7, this is a 6, 5 pair. And that's 2, 4, 9. That does work. Now the alternative is 9, 7 there. And 7, 5 here. So there's always a 9 in orange. There's always a 5 in green. There's always a 9 in orange. So one of these two places is a 4. And that means either this is 3 or that is 5. Is that interesting? It doesn't feel interesting. No, I'll tell you what it does mean. One of those is a 4. That means 4 is not in blue. Now, that is a bit more interesting. And look where 4 gets pushed around. If that's a 4, that's a 4. One of those is 4, that's a 4. Whereas if that's a 4, we do now know that 4 is not in blue or yellow. That's 4, one of those is 4, and that's 4. So 4 is never in this corner or that corner, which is a strange conclusion, but it is true. Now I am a bit, it's weird how what looked like it gave us nothing at first is giving us weird relationships. I don't want to have to move on to these 3. Oh, hang on. If this specifically was a 5, that would put a 9 here. Okay, now I am a bit more focused on... That's it. Neither of these can be a 7 because that would put a 4 in blue. And we've just worked out that since one of them is a 9, 4 is not in blue. There we go. So neither of those can be a 7. So that's a 9-6 pair. And this is a 6-5 pair to maintain the balance between green and orange. Good. Now, this is not a 1-4-6 cage. This is a 2-4-5 cage. I have just worked out in a weird way that 4 can't be in the corner. That was a complicated deduction. I'm going to just restore it to the corner and think it probably isn't there. This is now a 1-3-7-8 quad. So its clone is 2. This is now a 2-4-9 cage. Now, one of these is a 9 and one is a 6. And that means 4 is either there and there or there and there. That's fair enough. That does rule 4 out of the corner here. Now, do I do the same for boxes 3 and 7, which just don't feel as friendly to me? Or do I rule out this being a 5? Because that would be a 9. That would be 5. Okay, I'll tell you why I think that's... I have ruled out 4 out of blue. Yeah, that's okay. Now, if this was a 5, that would be a 9. 9 is then not in blue itself. So 9 would be in one of these cells. Now that can't be a 9 because that's not a 3. That can't be a 9 because that's not a 5. 9 would be in the 14 cage round here. I don't know for sure whether it could be with 2, 3 or with 1, 5. But you've got the same sort of relationship here. So those green cells and those orange ones, because of 14 plus blue and 11 plus blue deducting from 45, orange adds up to 3 more this time than green. I wonder if that's significant. So let's go back and think about that being a 9, which puts 4... No, what was I thinking about? I can't remember now. Where did I start this chain? I did start with a 9 here. That puts 4 here. Maybe I wasn't thinking about this right. Or maybe I'm just losing my mind. Or is there something about how the 2 yellow clones react together with the blue ones? Do they have to be different digits? That would be wonderful. Those 2 are the same. And that digit is then ruled out of these cells. Now it can appear in the blue clone in one place. Same is probably true for those 2, yes. And those 2, yes. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you can say that those... I guess they're not entirely the same, or you'd get 4 X-wings putting 4 different digits in those 3 cells. Thrilling conclusion. Okay, 4 sees a 5 and a 6. So 4 is in one of those cells in this column and in one of those cells. So maybe I need to think still more about 4s. In one of the... Okay, only one of those 2 is a 4. If it's that one, then that is a 4. Then one of these is a 4, and that is a 4. This isn't going to do anything for me, is it? And I've written the wrong digits in those cells. Oh, no, I haven't. Oh, that's quite interesting. Okay, this is either 4 or 3, and this is either 4 or 5. So if that's a 6, that's a 4. But if that's a 9, then we get a 4 here and a 3 bounced back by the numbered rooms clue there. Oh, that's really weird. Okay, that's right, though. That digit can't be a 4. There can't be a 4 in this 11 cage because there's a 4 in that row stopping that being a 4. There's a 4 in that column stopping that being a 4. And one of these 2 cells is a 4 stopping that being a 4. So I mean, there are still a number of ways to make it up without a 4, but there isn't a 4 in it. And that's very strange. Whereas still I think this could be a 4. Actually, it couldn't, because that would put 4s in both these cells and make both of these numbered rooms clues 5s. That's not going to work either. So that's not a 4. In fact, that's not a 4 either. So this total of 17 that I computed early on doesn't have a 4 in it. I mean, useless information. But okay, now it is time to think about colouring the grid for places that can't contain a 4. So it's those in box 1, those in box 9. Now there is a 4 in one of those cells. Oh, there's a swathe of these boxes that can be coloured. There's a swathe of these rows that can't contain a 4, and these columns. All of these places can't contain a 4. That's got 4 out of this whole clone, because that digit is the same as that. I mean, did I know that? I probably did know that before. I've only just really rationalised it, though. So what else is this doing? Yes, all of those 3 I've just worked out can't be a 4, because we've either got that pair or that pair, which rules out both of those, and we've got one of those which rules out that one. This is bizarre. So one of these 14 cages does contain a 4. Now, there is every chance this is doing nothing towards solving the puzzle, but it's quite interesting nonetheless. So in one case, one of these is a 4. Oh, and either that's a 4. Yeah, I can take 4 out of the corner. I mean, it's not going to help, but those two are green as well. So we either get that pattern of 4s. Oh, and then this would have to be a 4 by sort of Sudoku. Ah, so that would make this one a 3. So there can be a 4 in this 11 cage or in this 14. Oh, I don't know. Only one of those two cages, I think, can have a 4 in it, but... And it does. But which one is it? Even this could be a 2-4-5 cage with 2-4-5 sitting there, so... Ah, it's weird. This is doing my head in now. Maybe it's these clones, and this colouring has absolutely obliterated the clones, so I need to get rid of it if I'm not using it. That's very irritating, actually. And this 11 cage we worked out doesn't have a 4 in it. Does that make it more interesting than usual? Not to me, not really. Okay, what about 3s and 5s then? This 5 thing, it can't be a 1 and it can't be a 5. It is 2, 3, 4 or 6. Putting a 5, well, I mean with 2 or 3 we're putting a 5 in one of those positions. But this 5 is also, oh no, that could be a 9. That's very irritating, or is it? This is 2, 3, 4, 6 or 9. Now, what did I say about these two cells? They're 3 fewer than these two cells as a total. These 3 clues, the trouble with those is they could include 7 or 8, so they could be almost anything. They can't be 1 or 3 or 4. Or 9. This is not good. This is not the way to do the puzzle. So that pair adds up to 3 fewer than that pair. Is this actually going to reach the tipping point where it gets easier, or is that never going to happen in this puzzle? This is very tricky, actually. Ah, well, okay, now I'm thinking about this 11 cage, which does have either a 1 or a 2 in it. If it had a 2 in it, these two things would be pushing their digits out. I don't know. I don't know at all. Oh, this can't be a 5 because you would need a 4 in one of those positions and it's not allowed. So that's not a 6. Is that the same here? That would be quite good here. No, it's not. This 16 cage is allowed a 5. Although, if that was a 6, this would be a 5 by Sudoku. Putting a 4 definitely there. And if that was a 6, this would be a 6. I'd love to reduce that to 2, 3 or 4. Oh, it can't be 3 because we've got a 4 in one of those positions. No, hang on, it's placing 5, it's not placing 4. Calm down. Okay, let's think about this being a 9. Then 5 is there, and 6 is there, and 4 is there, and there. And if that's a 9, that's a 6, and that's also a 4. that's interesting. There's something interesting maybe going on there. If that's a 9, that's a 6, and that's a 4. And you've got 5 here and 6 there. Oh, then 6 is forced into this blue clone that we can't see at the moment. So if that's a 9 and that's a 6, which forces that to be a 5 and that to be a 6, 6 is ruled out of all of those cells. 6 is in one of these, but the 2 6s we've placed here rule 6 out of those. So 6 would be in those positions in the clone. Is that impossible, or is that actually right? This is all based on this being 9. We get 6s in those positions. Goodness gracious, I don't know. This would come down to 2, 3, or 4 if 6 was there. I can see that, but I don't know what it means. Goodness, I don't know. Okay, if that's a 5 and that's a 6, then we're getting 4s in those positions. And then the 4 in the central box, don't we know? No, I don't think we do know, because that doesn't fix these as being 6 and 9 automatically, or if it does, I don't see how. I just need to exclude something from these blue clones, I think. I don't know what it is. Okay, one of 1, 3, 7, 8 can't be in all of those cells, because then all of 1, 3, 7, 8 would have to be in that group, which isn't possible. So one of 1, 3, 7, 8 appears in this 11 cage, and in this 14 cage. Specifically in the corner, actually. I think. I don't know that this is helping, but I think that's right, because we're looking at that group of 2 by 3 against that 1, 3, 7, 8, as well as that group of 2 by 3 against that 1, 3, 7, 8. So we can't include 1, 3, 7, 8 in all of those cells or all of those cells, and one of them falls out into this cell. I think that's true, and I think it's true down here as well. I don't know what that does for us in any way. Is it the same digit? Not necessarily. Okay, if that's a 3, that's quite interesting. So then this is a 4. Hang on. Why have I not left 4 in the candidates for this cell? Or this one? Because it's placing 3. I've got that wrong. 4 should be a candidate in this cell and in this one. To put 3 there. I don't see, unless I'm missing something stupid there. I think 4 is a candidate in that cell. I don't know why. I think I just got confused when I was pencil marking it, probably. Oh, I'm one little deduction away from actually getting something going here. Come on, persevere, Mark. Find that deduction. Right, one of the ways round that this is 6 and 9, it's just not going to work. Now, how is that going to happen? 4 there, if this is the 9, that's a 4, sorry, that's a 4, that's a 4, that's a 4, and that's a 4. Okay, I'm going to mark those with a letter A. That's one possible location for 4s. If that's the 9 instead, then that's a 4, that's a 4, that's a 4, that's a 4. Those are the only locations for 4s, therefore. Is that right? How did this get ruled out? If that's a 9, that's a 4, and that's ruled out. If that's a 9, that's a 4, that's a 4. Yes, that is ruled out. Okay. So there's 4 more cells that I hadn't previously greened there that are ruled out. Now, one of these 2 is a 4, depending which way round the A's go. The same is true in both other perimeters. So I've ruled out an awful lot of cells from having a 4 in now, including this one. This can't have a 4 in, and this can't. Maybe that's how I did. But, oh no, this one can. But this one can't. Is that interesting? 3 is now there, which seems unlikely, because that would be in the clone here. That would be 2, 3, 2, 3. 3 would be here by Sudoku and here. And this would be a 7. And this couldn't contain 2, 3, or 7, this 11 cage. It could be 1, 4, 6, the beast. Right, what would happen then if that was a 3? Was this what I was saying? If this, yes, if this was a 2 and that was a 3, that would be 2 and that would be 3. Because of the clone that you can't see. Sorry, there is a clone here, but 4s can't go here. There's the blue clone. So those would be 3s if that was a 2. So they'd both be 2s. That just doesn't work up here because 2 is not there. They can't both be 2s. Right. Neither can be a 2 then. Now, this is 3 or 9, putting 5 there or there. Or maybe never mind about that. Let's add up these 2. So how did that work? These 2 were going to add up to 3 more than these 2. Well, how can that be a 3? 3 and 8 there would be 11 against 5 and 3 here, or 6 and 2. Oh, it does just work. That's so irritating. But 5 in this column is now either there or there. If that was a 5, does that affect anything? Or this is pushing a 3 into one of those 4 positions. Is that useful? I don't know. These 2 add up to, they add up to 3 less than those 2. So if that was a 3, surely this is a problem. We'd have a 5 here. That's a 5 here by Sudoku. No, by clone technology. If that's a 3, that's a 5, and that's a 5. So then this isn't a 5. So the most these can add up to is 11. And with that not being a 5, these would be 6 and 2. Okay, that's interesting. So if that was 3, this would be an 8. 3, 8, 6 and 2 couldn't be in the blue area, which would be selected from 1, 4, 5, 7, 9. But we would know what it would add up to. 11 there, 11 there is 22. The blue area would add up to 23 if that was 3 and 8, which is the only way that can be 3. The blue area adds up to 22. So down here, 22 Well, that doesn't seem right. Hang on. 3 and 8, I was saying, was the maximum. 11, 22. The blue area adds up to 23. And down here, we'd have a 5 here. Oh, 3 there puts 5 here. That puts 5, no, that puts 5 here and stops that being a 5. That was the point. I think this has to become 6 and 2, which puts 5 here. But 5 can't be there and there. Right, it's taken a while. I'm sorry that's so complicated, but this can't be a 3. If that was a 3, 5 would be there. But these two cells have to add up to 3 more than these two cells, based on blue plus 11 plus those two against blue plus 14 plus these two. For that to occur, that has to be 3 and 8. Now 5 can't have to be here. This would have to be 6 and 2. But that puts a 5 here where it can't be, because 5's already been put there. Okay, this is not a 3. That's a 9. There's my first digit in the grid after a mere 37 minutes. Oh, that's embarrassing. Anyway, this is going to do some work. Let's get rid of all the green pencil marking now, because I don't think it was necessarily doing anything. Yeah, I'm sorry about the green pencil marking. Anyway, 9 there. That says, by the numbered rooms rule, that's a 5. That makes this a 6. That makes this a 4. That, by Sudoku, makes this a 5, which puts a 4 there. This, never mind about that, we'll do 9, looks at 6 there. That puts 4 here. That stops this being 4 quite clearly. It also can't be 6. This is 2 or 3. But 5 can't be there, so this is a 2. I mean, this could actually literally unfold now. That would be amazing. 5's on the clone, so 5 goes in there on the clone. Okay, I've done all of those columns clues. Now, in this row, that's become a 9. That puts 4 here. That bounces back and puts 3 here. I've done all of that row. Where does 3 go here? In one of those cells, but not there, so it's not a 6. So 3 is in one of those two. Now I can do the maths. 13 has got to be different from this by 3, so that's an 8, and that puts 3 here. Yeah, I mean 13 plus 11 is 24. Blue adds up to 21, 21, 35, 43, 45. Okay, great. And suddenly I can place the 4s around the perimeter, which I was always planning to do in A cells. They're done. Let's get rid of those actual A's. And that can't be a 4 either. So that's a 2-9 pair. I mean, this is amazing. Right. These digits, oh no, let's do these two. They add up to 10, and they don't involve 2, 8, or 4, 6. So they use odd digits. Uh, 3, 7, or 9 there. But 9 is not in blue, so one of those is a 9, so they are 9 and 1. I mean, this is actually just going to come together now, I think. Really, this is peculiar how quickly this might unfold. 3, 6, 7 is a triple there. 3 is placed in this box. That's a 6, 7 pair. They're placed. Now I can fill in the blue clone. Lovely, lovely clone. Now I know how you work, Mr. Clone. You're fun. 7 is there by Sudoku, so 7 and 3 by clones. Don't know about the 1, 8 pair. This is 1 or 8 in an 11 cage. Oh no, 8 is looking at that cell. So the clones are completely finished. That is an 8, so I can fill in the 11 cage. How about this cage? 1 and 9 to place in this column. Oh, I don't like this. This has gone wrong. Oh, I don't like that at all. No. Everything was lovely in the garden until those 2 3s sat next to each other, plumped themselves down. What on earth went wrong there? I was flying. I was so happy. I've got 2 2s in the bottom row as well. Oh no, how did this occur? I was trying to put the clones together. I mean, this was good. I started doing the 4s in the perimeter. No, well, I mean, I don't know. Let's just go back to here and do 4s in the perimeter again. 4 there, 4 there, 4 there. They're all done. That's a 2-5 pair. I mean, something's still going to go wrong here now. 2-9, 1-3-7-8. Those 5s look good. Now, 9 has to be not in this blue area, so it's got to be there. If I add up that cage right, that's a 1. So 1 and 2 now have to be not in blue in this cage. So 2 is there, and this is a 1-8 pair. And these are 3, 7, 6 in some order, but that 6 is telling me where 6 goes, but that's a disaster here. So I've still got something wrong. Oh! Oh, look, it's all started back here. Oh, go back to the absolute first digit you placed and get it right, you numpty. It's going to be all the same logic. Right, that 9, then I cleared the green. That's fine. That 9 does not do whatever I said it did and put a 5 there. It puts a 5 here, which puts a 4 there. Did I not get that right? This is saying 5 is in numbered room 9. I think I got that exactly wrong. I don't know what I did. But this is, look, I'm still going to get this done, and I don't care. Sorry. Absolute numpty. That became a 6. That put 4 here. Stop this being 6 or 4. This is 2 or 3, putting 5 in one of those cells. Now, that's a 9. That puts 4 there. That puts 3 here. 4 goes round the perimeter. I can still do that. Not so worried about the A's. That's not a 4. Now, 9 is not in blue, so 9 has to go there. That's a 1. Now 1, this is trying to place 3 in the row. I'm not so interested in that. Okay, I've done the clues there. Haven't done 2. 2 or 3 is putting 5 in one of those cells. So 5's in blue. So this 11 cage doesn't have 4 or 5 in it. It doesn't have 6 in either by Sudoku. Is it 128 or is it 137? I don't know. It has to have a 1 in because 1 is not in blue. Yeah, I'm just going to be a bit more cautious this time. 3 is not in those cells, so 3 is in one of those 2 by Sudoku. And therefore, this is 7 or 8. Can I still do this maths? Do it properly this time. 13 is meant to be 3 bigger than the sum of these 2, which is 10. Okay, so I can't resolve those. Fair enough. Okay, calm down. And let's just not get stressed. Let's put 4 in one of those 2 cells. I don't know why there are 2 possibilities. I thought it was going to come down to 1. But it's in that 14 cage. Okay, I think I'm okay at this point, and I don't know why I went wrong before, but here we go. There's a 1 up there, along with the pair that makes 10 with it. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Calm down, Mark. Just calm down. Nice and easy does it. This doesn't have a 4. goodness. I mean, I'm so sorry about just completely losing the thread of numbered rooms at the key point. Now, I'm finally going to get rid of those A's again, because they did their job. And I'm going to take it nice and easy as we work out which numbered rooms clues I have not placed. It's that one, which is putting 3 in one of those cells. This one has placed 3. This one is going to put 5 in one of those two. So if that was a 2 with a 5 here, that would put 5 here as well. I don't know. Oh, well, this isn't doing quite as much as when I was doing it the wrong way round, is it? That's fine. Okay, so these cages contain a 6. I can place the 6 in box 7, and that places it on the clone there. 9, 6, 4, 5. I don't think that's going to actually advance much. That can't be a 6 and that can't be a 6, but I'd love to know that the 16 cage needed a 6, because then I could fill it in. I don't know that. It's going to be these central cages. They're going to do the rest. So this has a pair adding to 10 in it, along with the 4. Now, there's nothing else going on for me. I've got to do these. I've got to do this cage specifically. This is either 1, 2, 8 with the 2 there, or it's 1, 3, 7. Then we would have 3 here and 7 here, putting 3 there and 5 here. So 3s would end up in these positions if this was a 3, 7 pair down here. And there to keep out of the blue. We've obviously got a 3 there already. I don't know what that would do. I don't see the problem. If that was a 2, this is a 5, then that's a 5. So then we'd have 5s in these positions. We'd have to have a 5 in one of those. It's quite interesting. That can't be a 5. 5 can't go in this 11 cage once 4 can't go in it. That is slightly interesting. It means the 5 in row 7 is either there or there. If it's there, that's a 3. If it's there, that's a 5 and that's a 2. Now what would that do to 2s? 2 would be there and there. Oh, I should have finished this off. This could be 1, 3, 7 either way around, unfortunately. Yeah, that's annoying. Okay, maybe I need to focus on positions in the yellow clones. Or is it worth continuing to think about this not having a 5 or a 4? It's not, therefore, 2, 4, 5, but it could be 2, 3, 6. It's also not 1, 4, 6. It could be 2, 3, 6, 1, 3, 7. Both of those would need a 3 here, which would be quite telling. Or it's 1, 2, 8, which I rather fancy might turn out to be the case. There's a 4 in one of those cells. That is not a 4. 2, 5, 9, 4, 1. These are from 3, 6, 7, 8. Ah, head going 19 to the dozen. Maybe I need to think about the 16 cage. If it had a 3 or a 6, that would have to sit here. It doesn't have a 4 in the 16 cage. I mean, this is very speculative stuff. Oh, 3 is in one of those cells. So 3 is in one of these two. That's huge. That's huge, and it's so simple. Where's 3 in the top row? It's in one of those cells. So this is a 137 cage. That's huge. This is a 137 cage, and now 3 and 7 aren't in the clone. They are 5, 2, and 8. It's that straightforward. I'm sorry it's taken so long. It is painful, I know. But this is 2, 5, and 8. And this is 7. And this is 3. And that's a numbered room clue, putting 5 there in the clone. That fixes 2 and 5 in the corner. That fixes that as 8 and that as 2. And that clone is finished. Now I can place 8 in the yellow clone there. And 7 in the yellow clone there. And that's a 1 and that's a 3. And surely boxes 1, 3, 7 and 9 are completely finished. They are. Look at that. Right. The rest of the puzzle is going to be fairly straightforward, he says, after 53 minutes. He says confidently, with no degree of confidence actually sitting in his mind at all. Those are 4, 6, 9. I'm just putting the candidates in now. 2, 9 there. Well, we can't have 9 in the 11 cage. Good news. 1, 3, 5, that can't be 3. 6, 7, 8 down there. That's a 1 and a 2. Well, we can't repeat in the 11 cage, so we get an 8 in it to make up the numbers. Oh, goodness, this is such a relief. Right. I may have said that before at the wrong moment. Now, this 16 cage. Oh, yes, we had that original deduction. 14, 28, 36. Those two add up to 9, and they're not 4, 5, or 8, 1. They're either 3, 6, or 2, 7. Come on, I just need to do this 16 cage now, don't I? Or do I do Sudoku? Who knows? That's a 7 by Sudoku. Oh, come on, think about it. 9, 1, 6. 9, 5, 2. 7, 1. Not possible. 7, 5, 4. Not possible. This can never be a 7, apparently. So that's a 9. And this is either a 6 or a 2. And this makes this either a 3 or a 7. Those two were adding up to 9, weren't they? Oh, look, there's a 2 looking at that. Right. So that 16 cage did resolve it. 3 in the centre of the grid. Okay, this is happening now. That's a 6. That must be 9. That must be 4. This is a 1, 9 pair. I know the order. That must be 4. It adds up right. Hurrah. 2, 5, and 7 here. I can't do that yet. I will do the columns. 7, 6, 9. 5, 1, 2. 6, 8, 3. 8, 5, 3. 5 and 7. 2 to finish the central box. 8 and 2. What a puzzle. Oops. Oops. What a puzzle, Scott. That's very clever. Wow. I mean, I found that really remarkably difficult. And the error I made when I first started putting in numbered rooms clues was only a very small part of that solve. If that sort of thing appears obvious to one of you, let me know, because I just don't see how it is. It seems very complicated, but I'm delighted to have got through it. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you again soon on the channel. Bye for now.